Hey, what's up everybody? Okay, so if you're like me and you're constantly asking yourself the question, should I take my 20 gauge today or should I take my 22 squirrel hunt today? Like, which one should I take? In this video, I'm gonna do my best to explain my methodology on which one's better. Which one should I take on this day and which one should I take on that day? So here we go, guys, we're gonna talk about it.
I got Jack's got him! Oh, Jack's got one on the tree trunk!
Like this forever. Wanna stay right here with you. Wanna stay right here with you. As the rest we fall.
So I grew up hunting, fishing, doing all kinds of stuff, and if you've been watching this channel a while, you'll know that I've done some pretty crazy stuff, some pretty wild stuff, everything from tarping out of a kayak to trapping squirrels and cooking them. But I tell you, I still to this day am constantly wondering, should I take my shotgun today or my 22? 20 gauge, 410, 22, or even the 12 gauge. So I'm gonna try to break it down like 3 or 4 points on why I choose one or the other. So there's really just a few things that kind of govern my decision. So the first real reason that really has to do with what I take is basically, what time of year am I going? Is it like early in the year when, there's a lot of, leaves on the trees and and it's really thick and you're having a real hard time like seeing them, you can't see very far, it's thick, you can't shoot very far. And that's one thing that really comes into play. I mean, there could be houses and roads and things like that to where you can't really take that 22 rifle. You can't really shoot, you can't really take the chance of that bullet going stray, or if you shoot flat out, it just keeps going. And you can't always shoot into the ground or straight up. So, sometimes you got to take your shotgun. Preferably, I like to take the 20 gauge because it's just got a lot of reach. You can use a full choke. Mine's the Remington 20 gauge 870. But if we're late in the season, and there's not a lot of leaves on the trees, you might have to take a long shot, like way up there, like where I hunt. Down there on the river, the trees are really tall and the squirrels can be in the tip top. And sometimes you gotta have that 22 to kind of snipe them out of there. So give and get, time of year, shotgun versus 22, really that time of year and that location can really be a trade-off. Two thing really is, I kind of hinted it on the number one thing, it's kind of the land you're going to be hunting on. So like here in Pensacola, Florida, lower Alabama, you got a lot of tall pine and you got a lot of like tall trees down by the river. And we're talking way up there, and those squirrels, they'll get up there on the top of those things and they will give you a running for your money. They're running from tree limb to tree limb, and sometimes you don't get a steel shot. So you gotta use either a big shotgun with a full choke, like at least the 20 gauge or the 12 gauge. And this is why I've kind of grown away from the 410, because it just won't reach up there and get them, especially in the big woods with management area squirrels where they've seen a few shots at them, where they've been shot at a couple times. They're not tree squirrels, they're not yard squirrels, you know what I mean? They're not like roof rats. Got him. Hell yeah. So if you think you're gonna have to reach up there and get one, and you're meat hunting, 20 gauge. But if you're just trying to have fun, if you're just trying to get them while they're poking their head out of a crack and you're trying to be all stealth-like, the 22. The trade-off with that, the 22 is quieter, and sometimes you can get multiple shots on multiple squirrels. Whereas with the 20 gauge, as soon as you ring that thing out, you're probably not gonna see them for a couple minutes. And then when you do see them, they're probably not gonna be happy when you do try to shoot that second time. 20 gauge, that's a thunder stick. That thing will reach out there, it'll get them, but it'll make a lot of noise. You're gonna be deaf, the squirrels are gonna be deaf, and they're sure enough gonna go hide, at least for a little while. So, just keep that in mind. One's loud, one's not quite as loud, one spooks them, one doesn't quite as spook them. So, that's another factor. The number 3 thing, shot distance. 22, sometimes you can reach out there a little further out to 50 yards, maybe a little more. If you're really, awesome at shooting. 20 gauge, you're looking at like 30, 35 yards with number 6 shot, full choke, and you're kind of starting to waver 40 yards, toast, unless you're using high brass, really fast loads with like really heavy, like number 4, number 5s, number 6s. And if the squirrel's got a real thick hide, you're up there in the north, like way up there in the cold country, gonna have a hard time knocking them down. I got some thick hides, let me tell you. So just keep that in mind that, you know, sometimes 22, if they're just chilling, reach out there. But if they're running, you know, you might have to use a shotgun. You got to take these things into account. So to kind of round things out, guys, you really got to decide too whether you're gonna go meat hunting or you're gonna go just for fun. You know, if you got 10 or 15 squirrels in the refrigerator, you might want to just take the 22 out, plink, and get to shoot and have some fun and try to get better at being a marksman. But if you're going out there and you need 4 squirrels and you got to fill up the crock pot, I'm taking the 20 gauge. I'm going meat hunting and I'm gonna put a hurting on them. I'm gonna throw some number 6 in there and I'm gonna put a full choke and I'm gonna hammer down on them. And that 20 gauge will hammer down on them. 12 gauge is just a little strong. It's got a lot of punch, but if you're up north, like if you guys are up there in that cold country, the 12 gauge is probably what you need because them squirrels are like doggone Dobermans running through the trees. So, you know, just keep these things in mind and you'll be successful on your squirrel hunt, guys. Number 6s, those number 4s, full choke, you're just gonna be thundering them. You're just gonna be hammering them out of those trees. Those little bushy tails, like I don't know what hit them. So, you know, you're gonna get squirrels when you shoot, even when they're running. 22, you might miss a few times. You might come back with 1 or none. Just depends on how good you are. So really, like, that's the big question. 20 gauge versus 22 when squirrel hunting. You can have fun, you can be stealthy, you can be a sniper, or you can put meat on the table. If you're floating down the river on a kayak and you think you're gonna be moving or you're gonna be walking a lot, 20 gauge, you're gonna get them running. But if they're up close, it might tear them up, whereas the 22, you can hit them right in the nose and you don't tear them up. Those are just things to think about. I know that really doesn't answer the question, it probably just gives you more questions. But for me, if I'm going meat hunting, 20 gauge. If I'm going floating down the kayak or a canoe and I might be shooting from the boat, 20 gauge. If I'm just going on a late, you know, January morning where there's a lot of open country, open trees, 22, I can get his head popping out of that knot, I'm gonna get him. So that's really all I got, guys. That's really it in a nutshell. Hope this video helps. Comment down below on which one's your favorite, 20 gauge, 22, and what kind of load you use, because we're all trying to learn here. I'll see you guys later.